Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Vuyokazi. Thank you for clicking on this video. So what do you do when you get fired from a national radio station? Well, you start your own damn radio station. That's what these guys did. Hi, my name is Vuyokazi. Welcome to my channel. This is what these guys did. Cliff Central, Gareth Cliff, THD 24, Tbo Touch, Massive Metro, DJ Sbu, Marawa TV, Robert Marawa. Cliff Central is hosting this podcast.
This is CliffCentral.com.
Stand by for a conversation between DJ Fresh, DJ Sbu, Robert Marawa, Tbo Touch, Trevor Gumbi, and me in just a short while on CliffCentral.com. Hashtag Pure Conversations.
In another different episode, Cliff Central also featured four ladies, Ubonang, Unati, Guli Roberts, as well as Umasi Chabandlovu. So just listen to this interesting interviews. My name is Vuyokazi, and I'll see you on the next upload.
And for the record, for people that have been hounding me about what about the sisters, there's going to be a sisters only session.
Yes.
So we're not excluding the sisters, but there will be a sisters only session.
So what I'd like to do for starters, because each of you have an incredible story, a lot of these stories are inspiring beyond belief. A lot of them are real rags to riches stories too. And maybe people do, maybe people don't know. But I think, to give a little background here, I mean, I remember Sbu telling me a story about how he washed Fresh's car for a while to get his attention.
Not really wash his car, but I mean, I hung around with you. Remember Begazela?
Yeah, Sbu kind of he used to kind of hang around that way. Beyond, I mean, he do mixes on my show. So, that's how I met Sbu. But Sbu has always been that guy that knows how to hang around strategically. So you see him, but he's not in your face. And I think a lot of kids can learn from that.
Absolutely.
That when you want to get into any industry, don't be in people's faces. Be almost just by the blind spot. So I see you, but I don't see you. You're not a bother, but I know you're there. And that's how you start getting into places.
And
Sbu
persevere,
has been
right,
that guy.
Sbu?
Yeah, I think for me, Fresh has been a very good role model for me because I modeled my career from the beginning around him and a gentleman by the name of Kabzela. May his soul rest in peace. He's no longer around.
Absolutely.
I could relate with Kabzela because I was from the township, right? And he spoke Vernac. And he spoke to a lot of our hearts, especially Joburg kids from Mekasi, And Fresh was just the guy because I was a DJ playing on vinyls, cassettes, and I just wanted to be like Fresh. But I think the one thing that set him apart was the giving part of DJ Fresh. He had an education foundation at the time. And Kabzela was doing something similar with a movement called the PYGs, the Positive Youth of Gauteng. So when I got in, I didn't just want to be that entertainment guy. So the purpose in what they were doing sort of rubbed onto me, and I've carried that all the way until today.
School. I remember driving in this taxi to Vanderbilt Park, and I think Fresh was in the afternoon on Y.
The easy drive.
The easy drive. And our driver was bragging that he can take us to go see him. And we drove to Bertram's, this house. It
was a Radio Freedom building.
Yeah. Still there.
Yeah, still there.
And that's the first time I think I saw Fresh, but,
why didn't you come say hi?
Never did I, man. No, it was, when you just shocked, because Kokasi, we brag, I can take you to Fresh now. It's like, nah, yeah, right. And we drove there. I won't forget that day. The first time I also met Bad Boy T. He had long dreads, speaking Xhosa, so he was a bit approachable. Fresh had this polished English that, like, I'm sure Sbu, that's why he related to Kabzela. Because as Kabzela said, Eita, was Fresh going to say, hi, sir? Or you don't know how to say, like, yo, dog, what up? You don't know how to say, but, and then you start falling in love with this. So I can talk to thousands of people, and they can imagine, and exactly what I imagined of Fresh, he was that guy. Big voice, big structure, and he had this car with 24-inch, 24.
The Wrangler, right? Because he had many cars, this guy.
It was a Wrangler with a 5-inch race suspension and balloon tires.
Or was it the Saab? Or was it there because you had a lot of cars?
Yeah, it must have been the Saab. And then that's when I realized that actually this is a serious career, man. And coming from the Val and knowing that YFM is 45 minutes away, I always knew that one day one will move from broadcasting as a church boy to broadcasting to thousands of people as your boy. And
well, eventually millions. But I do want to, like, Fresh, tell us just a little bit about how you started, because these two have both admitted that you were a huge role model and
who inspired you, Fresh?
Yeah, where did you come from?
Geez, where do I start? For me, I think when I was 13 years old, I was in boarding school, and there were Zambian kids that were at our boarding school. This is in Botswana, in Gabs. And so the one kid's dad worked at the United Nations. So whenever he went to the US, he'd record WBLS. And he'd bring back these tapes of this radio station. And as fate would have it, I mixed on WBLS about 10 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And did an interview there. But anyway, that's a story for another day. So I'd listen to this radio that I'd never heard before. And all of a sudden, you had your radio bops. And then when I was 15, Metro FM started broadcasting also. So for me, that's when I started taking an interest in this. And I had a friend, a Norwegian guy. His name is Oscar. Like my best friend until we die. He left for Norway when we were 15.
Yeah.
So the way we used to share music is we'd make each other radio tapes.
Huh.
So I'd introduce the songs and tell him this is the brand of Brenda Fassie and whatever else.
But he was your listener.
So he was my one listener. I started my career with one listener. And he'd do the same. I mean, I remember I was the first kid at our school that had Milli Vanilli. But it also had Oscar's voice on it introducing it. You know what I mean?
But there's something almost poetic about having your best friend as a listener.
Yes.
Because it teaches you about that relationship right up front. Huh?
In fact, I'll tell you right now, so fast forward a year after matric, brand new radio station, I walked in and said, guys, I need a job. And I know I can do better than half of the guys on the radio station. And they auditioned me on a Monday. They told me on a Tuesday that you start on Saturday. And I started my radio career with zero training. Like zero training. But because I'd listened to so much radio from, what was it? I think it was Capital in London, WBLS, Kiss FM. I'd listened to so much radio that I knew exactly what I needed to do.
Yeah,
Yes.
I gotta give Zach a shout out. Zach and I, so I was doing an insert on Zach's show, and then I came home for a month, right? So one of the Saturdays, the first Saturday, he's taking me to go see the studio because I was that guy who calls in on the phone from New York. But at that time, I started doing 1 hour live from New York. So we had the stream going from 2003, I think. So one Saturday, I visit home, and Zach is asked to do a competing alcohol promotion, and he says there's a funeral at home. In his culture, he can't endorse alcohol during the week of a funeral. Now, Ndate Mashigo at that time is an assistant station manager. He says, BS, what culture is that?
Yeah.
And they have an altercation in the car. So I'm listening to Zach telling Leo and Ndate Mashigo, no, you can't force me to do anything against my culture. I'll give you the policy at the SABC, this and this. And I could just see it in the air. This guy's gone. Then I get a text. They don't know I'm riding with Zach. I get a text. Say, hey, man, that New York guy is around. He's in town.
Yeah.
Can you go do Zach's show?
That New York guy.
Can you go do Zach's? But I'm sitting on a... No, listen. I'm sitting in the car, and we were doing a campaign for Shrek. Remember the movie Shrek just came out? So Zach is sitting here, and I'm sitting as a passenger. They're like, Touch, where are you? I said, I'm in a car. And this is Leo says, are you able to be at SABC Studios in the next 2 hours? It was 4 o'clock Saturday. I said, sure. And I'm like, why? Where's Zach? Zach is not going to do the show. He's fired.
Oh.
But they didn't tell him he's fired.
Jeez.
And I'm riding in a car
That's
with
how I
him.
was fired. That's why.
So,
I'm walking in, people laugh and they listen to me. I'm like, what's going on here?
no, but I got to tell you this. So I got to ask the guy who just got fired to go drop me off
So you can
at
do
the
his
studio
show.
so I can do his show. And we at Marawa. So I said, this is a difficult crossroad I've ever been in my life.
Wow.
So I'm like, yo, Zach, listen, I think they're going to let you go. Because I just got off the phone to ask to go do your show. It's like, nah, dog, they're not going to let me go. I'm going to go do my show. So I'm like, okay, let's go to work. Great. We go to work. Luckily, Leo is already there. And Dr. Mashigo used to have this yellow Toyota Corolla, my lord. It's parked outside. And now Zach sees him. I'm like, what are you going to do? He's like, nah, I'm going to tell him. He gets in studio. Dr. Mashigo says, Touch, come inside. Zach, stay out. Now I don't know how to control a desk. Flip. There's a guy called Andrew Bapela. Yeah. Andrew Bapela says, that's a mic, that's a guest mic, that's music. So I gotta act like I know how to do this. And it's that old
You're the guy from New York. You better know how to do this.
Because this is some old age. You remember that old desk?
It was the
I
old,
remember.
massive desk.
I think it was the analog desk, right?
Yes.
Proper.
In fact, the only good thing about those old desks were the microphones.
That's it.
Yeah, they were
Those
great.
microphones were geez. But anyway, yeah, sorry.
Maar Spongy said,
We digress.
absorb the jam.
No, but you could smell even apartheid on those mics.
Yeah.
When
They're that old.
When that sponge would fall, I'll only hold it a tissue.
It was no, there was zero hygiene. But let's be honest though. That was the best training academy. So the show went live 6 p.m. We went live at that time, and all mics were on.
Yeah.
To be safe, because I could see there's 4 mics for guests. I switched on all mics, and they're all listening. Leo's listening to the first link like this. Like, you did a good job. You did a good job. Just tone down on the screaming. You scream too much. And then may his soul rest in peace from YFM, former former music compiler from Tsakani.
Oh, DJ
Monde.
DJ Monde.
Yes.
DJ Monde sent me a text. Nice one, boy. Nice one. So I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah. Radio is what I grew up in. You know, listening to Radio Zulu, listening to Kansas City, listening to Joshua Mlaba back in those days. I was like, wow, this invisible voice, where does it come from? And there grew the love for radio for me. And as much as I wanted to do television, radio was always that thing that was hovering around. So when Romeo called up and said, dude, you want to do this? I was like, I don't have the experience. I think Touch was overwhelmed by the huge desk. I was like, what am I going to do? Andrew Botobela was like, hey, I'm just here to take calls. You just talk. But it's become something that has become a huge part of my life. And it is serious that the people that are here, all this talent that is here, is completely disrespected.
You think
for what they do.
Think so?
They disrespected, not by the people that listen to them, but the people that
pay them,
so-called,
or don't pay them,
control them.
Yeah.
Thank you very